There is a moment in every life when you decide to rise, to stand taller than your fear, to speak louder than your doubt, to chase the vision that sets your soul on fire. This is that moment. And here, we walk it together with stories that awaken, voices that inspire, and truths that set you free. This is Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where hope has a voice, and that voice is yours. And welcome to the show, everybody. We got a great show for you today. By the way, if you are a woman, if you are in business, one of the things that our guest told me earlier today, and I read it on her website, is that a lot of women-owned businesses don't exceed $100,000 a year in sales. And that just doesn't, it just seems kind of weird to me. So, because I think women are very bright and can do amazing things. And our guest today, Bianca B. King. Did I say that correctly? I'm famous for screwing names up, by the way.
You got it right, Kevin. Thank you so much.
And thank you for being here, because we're going to talk in depth about you, the work that you've done. You're an MBA. You are the host of this event that's happening on, I believe, let me double check. It's going to happen on March 26th and 27th of 2026. And it is a worldwide event. So it will be you'll be able to log into it, and they've got a bunch of, well, we'll get into that. But in any event, how are you today, young lady?
I am doing well. It's only Tuesday, but it's already been a busy week. I had a few other podcast interviews today, but I am so excited and happy to be here with you and your audience.
Well, I'm excited to have you here because, number one, my audience, because of the type of material that we present here, we're not political and we're not religious and we're not sports minded, although the Seahawks did win the Super Bowl. But besides that, and you actually even said congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah, I remember from our previous conversation that you were a Seahawks fan. So yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, quite frankly, the game was kind of boring, but that's just me. And in any event, but we are going to talk to you about your passion, which is helping women, entrepreneur and business people actually do and learn how to access their own skills to break through. I guess do you call it the glass ceiling still, or is that an old term?
Yeah, I mean, there is still a glass ceiling, but most of the work that we really try to help women with is more internal versus the external world, because we can't control the external world, right? Especially if you're, an entrepreneur or in corporate, those systemic issues are there. Yes, we can try to dismantle them, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen in this lifetime, or my lifetime, I should say.
Well, I think it'll happen. You're a very young person. I think it's going to happen in your lifetime.
I'm not that young.
Well, we won't say, but you look great, and you got a great smile, and you got great energy around you, and you're passionate about the work that you do. Describe it. How did you get into this?
Yeah. So let's start way back in the 90s when I was working in commercial real estate. That's where I started my career. And I essentially worked in commercial real estate for over a decade, rose to the top. I did all the things right. I started off as a financial analyst. As an administrative assistant. Then I went on to being a financial analyst. Then I was a brokerage associate, rose to the ranks, got employee of the year twice, deal of the year, did all the things that a good corporate girly is supposed to do, and still could not get a seat at the table in a way that was meaningful. So at 32, with my husband's blessing, we were 7 months into our marriage. I decided to give my resignation and start my marketing agency, which is 7573 Marketing Group. May will be our 18th year. Along the way, when I have been, having my agency, I had been informally mentoring women. And around the time COVID hit, I was thinking, well, how do we connect women with coaches? It's typically like word of mouth or referral, but how do we formally really make sure that a person's paired with the right coach so that they have the details and all the credentials that they need in order to help that woman? So I created Pretty Damn Ambitious, which is my second company. So essentially what we do is we help women get matched with coaches. But then along the way, a lot of women were like, Bianca, we want to learn from you because I don't call myself a coach. I am not a coach. I am not certified in any way. I am a business mentor. And so it kind of morphed more into like this community, this collective, where I really just help women entrepreneurs navigate all the pitfalls and all the craziness that I went through when I was 32 to this age. Do the math if you want.
Not necessary. Not
Yeah,
necessary.
yeah. So that's Pretty Damn Ambitious, and that's I'm passionate about seeing women succeed. I've seen too many women, unfortunately, not fulfill their purpose, not fulfill their dreams, put everybody and everything before them, and then just kind of give themselves the scraps. And I feel like it should be the other way around. We should honestly be the priority because we are going to pour back into our families, our communities, and all of that. But you can't do that from an empty cup.
Your cup needs to be full before
Yeah,
you can give it to somebody else. And
indeed.
but I wanted to say this because being the person that you are and working with coaches, I think everybody needs a good coach in their life.
I agree.
Now you can pick the right person who is aligned with your values and what you're trying to achieve, but you need somebody outside of friends, family, or more importantly, employees to
Yes.
help you deal with all of the things to build a legitimate company that's got resilience and has
Yes.
got legs that can become who you really want to be as an entrepreneur or a business owner to take care of all those things. So I'm
Yeah.
glad you're doing that. Do you ever get any pushback from somebody saying, "Oh no, I don't need a coach. I can do this"?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think part of the issue is education. Sometimes business owners or entrepreneurs, period, they feel like, well, I have my vision. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm just going to go out and do it, which there's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But the coach is going to help you see those blind spots. They're going to help you accelerate your success a little bit faster. So it's massively important to have that, and also too accountability. Having someone who can really make sure that you are doing the things that you said that you're going to do for your business. Because most of us can show up for everybody else, especially if you're a woman. We will show up and do anything and everything for other people. But then when it comes to us, we are like, oh yeah, we can do it another day. Or I'll schedule it for next month, and then next month never comes. So having that coach, that accountability, someone who can see your blind spots, someone who can coach you to really help you when sometimes you're having those down days. I mean, it's imperative if you're really wanting to be a successful entrepreneur.
And by and large, now you tell me if I'm wrong, but my sense is, first of all, I'm not a woman. I don't know if you know that,
Couldn't
but
tell, Kevin.
but I will tell you this: every woman that, not everyone, but a lot of women are trained from a very early age to be of service to everybody
Yes.
else, and they treat themselves last.
Yes.
And sometimes the cup gets empty before they get to themselves, and
Indeed.
so then they never take care of themselves. And isn't that part of the problem?
That is, yeah. It's systemic. Women are encouraged at a very early age to be caregivers. Think about even the toys that we get. We get stuff to cook or a baby to take care of, or all of these things that are basically giving us responsibility at such this early age, and it's quote unquote a toy, right? Whereas boys, they have I don't know what boys are playing with these days, but they
Guns.
have yeah. I was thinking guns. I was like, I don't want to say that.
Well,
But yeah, it's like
stuff I do. Yeah.
yeah, I think you get it though, right? Or it's a ball, it's a football, or whatever. It's something purely for entertainment, So we're groomed at such an early age, and we really need to figure out a way to undo that. I'm really excited and happy that a lot of children now have STEM based toys, science, technology, engineering, math, if I'm saying that right. Where, they're playing with Rubik's cubes, or they're all into Legos or something like that, right? Where it's not so gendered, and you're perpetuating this whole systemic issue of women being caretakers from a very early age. And how are we supposed to unlearn that if it's embedded in us?
I was just thinking, You're right that when a little girl, she'll get a doll,
Yep.
and it'll be a baby doll,
Yep.
and it'll be a doll that she gets to take care of. Guys don't, little boys don't get that. They
No.
get balls and they get little.
Yeah.
So we're training kids from the very get go that they're the caregivers,
Yes.
and so they have to do all take care of everybody, and
Right.
then they run out of steam before they get to themselves. By the way, Joe Kavanaugh says, "Amen to that, Bianca."
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
And you are. It's remarkable that you were. Well, I need to ask you this. I need to explore this.
Sure.
You were Employee of the Year twice,
I was. Yes.
and you never got a seat at the table. How
Not
did
a real
that
one,
work?
put it that way. Yeah. Say one more time.
How did that work? I mean, because you were clearly a leader within the company and
Right.
were doing some great work, and you didn't get a seat at the table, even though you were Employee of the Year twice.
Yeah.
If you were
So
a guy, now far be it from me, but if you were a man
Yeah.
and you were Employee of the Year twice, you would be in the halls of the CEO and the COO and those guys. They'd be going, "We got an up and coming guy
Yeah.
here. He's gonna be really something."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
What?
unfortunately, gender and the color of my skin absolutely played roles. I was the one that they would point to when they wanted to say, like, "Oh yeah, women and women of color and Black women, you can rise through the ranks." Bianca did it. But then when there were opportunities and things that really fit my skills and all the things that I know I could have done, it was like, "No, no, no, you're not ready for that." And I'm like, "How am I not ready for that?" Yeah. So, MBA, real estate license, team I worked on sold over 1.4 billion with a B of real estate transactions, assets. And no, so this wasn't quite what they needed. But I mean, this is Texas. This is commercial real estate in Texas.
Oh,
Um, it's a
you
good
just
old
said a
boys
whole
club. Yeah.
you just said a
So
whole mouthful. It's like,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
we're in Texas, and
Right. Yeah, Texas, yeah. So, it's all good, but I'm happy, that that happened because otherwise I would have probably stayed in corporate and I wouldn't have this amazing life that I have as an entrepreneur, I'm, almost 2 decades into entrepreneurship, and I spent more time in entrepreneurship than I ever did in corporate, and I would never trade any of it, even all the really hard parts, I would never trade it.
Well, and being an entrepreneur can be hard, but it's also
Yes.
extremely rewarding.
Yes, absolutely. It's the peaks and valleys.
And by the way, congratulations to your husband for being a good dude and saying, "Yeah, you go. I believe in you as a human, as a human being, and what you can do,
Yeah.
and so go do it."
Yeah, my husband is remarkable. We were just he was just sitting here in my office. We were just talking about how long we've known each other. So we've known each other for over 30 years. I think September will be our 23rd anniversary, and then we've been married for almost 19 years. So yeah, he's been there through all of it, between me absolutely not knowing what I need to do with my life to me, crafting this kind of new version of me helping women and all the things that I've been doing since 2022.
What I'm excited about hearing about now is the passion and you deciding what it was. Was there a moment in time when you said, this isn't it, and I need to go find out who I really am and what I'm capable of doing on my own? Was that a moment or was that an evolution?
I think it was an evolution. I'm not sure if you want to touch on, me leaving home so early. I think because I left home so early, I had less risk aversion. And I absolutely was naive going into, my entrepreneurial endeavors. But I also knew like, it's got to be better than this. I mean, I'm working 60, 80 hours and for what? Again, this was an international real estate firm. This is a massive firm. And so I started feeling like a cog. I started feeling like a pawn. And I'm like, it's got to be better. And I was burning out on top of it. And my husband was like, you got to go. And he literally was telling me for a year when we were actually engaged before we even got married to leave. And I was like, boy, please, like, this is my career. Like, I'm superwoman. I'm doing all the things, I'm going to rise to the ranks and just, it's going to be great. And I got to the point where I was like, nope, he's right. I got to go. And I was ready as well.
Well, he was looking for a balance. Like when you're working 80 hours a week, there ain't a whole lot of time for that relationship, fella.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. And we all knew it and saw it. And it was like, nope, got to try something different. And so, but at the same time, it's like, as you grow your business and you're an entrepreneur, sometimes you are working 80 hours a week, in the beginning, but it's a different vibe. It's a different energy that you're putting into it. So it's almost more pleasure to work the 80 hours a week versus working the 80 hours a week in corporate. It's hard to explain unless you're an entrepreneur.
Well, and or passionate about what it is that you're doing.
Indeed,
And,
yes.
and you were really passionate about going on this road and really to help women, because it's more now, but when you first started, there weren't a lot of people that were female focused. Am I correct in that?
I would say so. Yeah. I mean, and granted, I've only just started not too long ago. Like I've really just been working on everything since 22, maybe I'll say 21, but officially launched in 2022. When I started my agency back in 2018, that wasn't necessarily focused on women only. I was more focused on really helping other entrepreneurs or other small business owners really have incredible communicative marketing services that were readily available. From my perspective, way back then, back in 2008, there were like kind of two camps. You had the people who were just exorbitantly priced, or that you had your website guy who would speak geek to you and you had no idea what the hell they were saying. And so I filled that niche, that white space, if you will, as everybody's calling that now, between, not speaking geek to a client, but not being like this exorbitant cost, exorbitant agency. So it worked out perfectly.
Well, congratulations on what you're doing, but you're not anywhere near done, and you know that because
Yeah,
it's
I know.
continuing to evolve.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we've got, and when we come back from this break, we're going to talk about the summit that you have coming up and how important that is going to be for a lot of people. I was looking through your presenters and your facilitators, and you've got quite a list of incredible women in that group.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, just
So
amazing women I've met. So yeah, we can talk more about that.
we will indeed, and we'll be right back. And this is just a short one. And this is, Bianca, what I do rather than play commercials about hot wings and cars. I do something that we call points to ponder, which are just just a thought that I want people to think about as we continue down the road of this show. So we'll be right back. We've got Bianca B. King with us. Go to her website, which is, I believe it's levelupsummit.co. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And we will be back in, this is just 30 seconds, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Stay with us. Here's another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. A woman spent years hating the reflection in her mirror. One day, she whispered, "I am enough." Day by day, her reflection became her friend. Self-love begins with the words you tell yourself. Speak gently, because you are listening. This is brought to you by Positive Talk Radio, where stories of hope come alive. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin McDonald. Sadly, Brichelle is under the weather today, but she'll be back tomorrow. Bianca B. King is with us. What did you think of that piece?
I love it. It's interesting because I have a private podcast on Substack, and my podcast today was about ambition plus enough. So it's perfect. It was perfect.
And I believe that a lot of people, I know this, a lot of people do not recognize that they are enough.
Yes.
And it's important for you to be confident and love yourself before you can love and be confident with anybody else, especially as an entrepreneur.
Amen.
Because you've got all kinds of people at different levels and you're trying to help them achieve what they want within the framework of your company and stuff. So as an entrepreneur, not only do you have an idea of the company that you want to run, but you have to be a great leader, and you
Indeed.
have to be a great motivator, and you have to put that all together. Did was that package complete for you, or did you have to learn it along the way?
Oh, Lord, I had to learn that, Kevin. Yeah.
Well, you've done
Yeah,
a wonderful job with it and putting it all together. So congratulations for that.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's always a learning process. I mean, even if you feel like you have a certain level of whatever, you're a good leader or you're a good delegator, whatever the case may be, entrepreneurship will shake you up in a way that you're not quite expecting. And it will sometimes make you question some of those abilities that you felt that you had dialed in. But from my perspective, that's just a learning opportunity. It's a way for you to really kind of just level up those skills and really hone in on any blind spots, like I was talking about with the coach, that you're lacking, right? Entrepreneurship reveals a lot about your inner self as well as your outer being.
And I want your opinion on this, but I think one of the things that an entrepreneur doesn't think about when he or she gets into it is that when you're in a corporate setting, there's always somebody at the coffee machine that you can bounce ideas off of, and you can, if you've got a problem or a quandary, that you can get some input from somebody
Yeah,
else.
yeah,
As an entrepreneur, you really don't have that. You're expected to be this complete package and to know everything from the get-go. And that's just, I don't know that there's anybody that's like that.
yeah,
And so that's where a coach comes in,
indeed.
that can then really can help you. I know a guy, he is a financial a guy, and he's got three different coaches.
I believe it. Yeah,
He's got a coach for his business
yeah,
and the direction of his business. He's
mhm,
got a coach for his employees on how to handle his employees.
yep,
And he's got a coach on work life balance so that he can balance that with his family.
yeah,
And he makes six figures plus, in deeply six figures a year.
yeah.
And you would think people would say, he's got it all together. But no,
No,
he needs somebody to say, when was the last time you and your wife went on a date? It's
for
like, well,
sure.
it's been years, and it's like, you need to go do that.
Years. Wow. I hear you. Yeah,
You know,
but
well,
you're right.
when you're working 80 hours a week, and your focus is this
Yeah,
thing, that
yeah.
this is your business, and you're going to make it work, it can be hard.
Yeah, I agree. I feel, we are a little crazy, honestly, entrepreneurs. And a lot of us can get very hyper focused. And when we do that, it is really hard for us to see the forest for the trees. I mean, we just get so locked in. We're like, oh, wait, it's 10 o'clock in the evening. And we haven't eaten or talked to our loved ones and all of that. So again, if you are passionate about it, you can get swept up into what I call toxic ambition. Essentially, some of the stuff that I dealt with in corporate, the overworking and not having the balance. I don't like the word balance because I don't think that's the right word, and I haven't found the right word for it. But having the time that you need to really truly be a human and find joy, you really have to make sure that you're including that if you're an entrepreneur. And then going back to the whole, you are the single person, the loneliness, all of that. I mean, that's huge in entrepreneurship. And that's where you need to really make sure that, yes, you have a coach, but you've also built the scaffolding. You've found or cultivated some type of community to help you, to commiserate with you, as well as to celebrate you. Because again, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have these singular occurrences that are going to happen that someone in corporate is not going to necessarily be able to understand, whether it's your spouse or your best friend that may be in corporate. But if you have that other kindred spirit that's an entrepreneur who's gone through those peaks and valleys like I talked about, then yeah, that makes all the difference in the world.
And I don't know whether this is necessarily true or not, but I wanted to ask you because I think it's important, especially for entrepreneurs, women of color, that are moving into the entrepreneurial space. Is there an do you think there's an inherently an extra amount of pressure that they're putting upon themselves because they're a woman, number one, they're a woman of color, number two, and in the corporate space, they may not have got the accolades and the things that they deserved. And so they're going into the entrepreneurial space. Do they feel just a lot more pressure to succeed than somebody else, or do you think it's all relative?
I think it's relative. Yes, there's a certain pressure being a woman. There's a certain pressure being a woman of color. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone, but at the same time, we just had one of the biggest shifts in Black women, I should say, in corporate America. Over 600,000 were laid off last year and kind of towards the beginning of this year because of the different things that are happening in DEI. So there's been a lot of repercussions and kind of backlash around that. And most of those women are trying to get into entrepreneurship. Now, with that, I'm not sure if they're feeling any additional pressure because again, we already feel the pressure. So it almost feels like maybe possibly a relief because now you're not in that toxic environment so much. So yeah, that's kind of where I would go with that one.
Would you say that again? Did I hear you right? Did you say 600,000?
600,000. Yeah. There's a few articles. There's one by the Washington Post and I think also New York Times. Yes. Over 600,000 Black women in corporate America were laid off last year.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any.
It makes no
So
sense.
no,
We are one of the most educated demographics in the country. Most of us have MBAs, most of us have multiple years in corporate, but for some reason, we aren't the right fit. So now we're getting laid off and hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah.
I have um, a friend and fellow broadcaster. Her name is Dr. Shelley
Mhm.
Jones Holt, and she's and got an MBA, and she was in charge of um, um, the the school district in Detroit.
Mm.
Jeez, I'm getting old. In Detroit, and she and a group of women got together and they wanted to call it the Aunties Club, and they're all professional Black women, but they have seen things that traditional people just don't, and so
Indeed.
that is coming out, and they're calling themselves the Aunties, and I'm
I love
producing
that.
it for them. Yeah, so
Oh, I can't wait to
so
hear it. That's going to be amazing. Yeah.
yeah, well, and they are so funny and engaging and stuff, just like you. And I got to tell you, it's remarkable to me, and I don't understand it. It's remarkable to me that people are not accepted for what they can do and who they are, not what they look like. It
Right.
just or the sex that they are.
Yeah.
It boggles my mind, and I'm hopeful that in my lifetime, which is going to be shorter than your lifetime, that we'll get that figured out.
Yeah, that would be amazing. It's like, judge us by the contents of our character. Or we want to throw an MLK quote out there, given it is Black History Month. But judge us by the contents of our character. I mean, are we showing up? Are we doing the work? Are we qualified to do the work? Absolutely, we are, because we are one of the most educated in this country demographics. So yeah, yeah.
What's interesting is Reverend Jackson, of course, passed away recently during Black History Month. I think there's a message in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in any event, we're talking with Bianca B. King. She is an entrepreneur. She's got a couple of companies and she's got a nonprofit that we want to talk about too. But when we come back from this break, we are going to delve into the summit because I want you to go because it will be beneficial for you and the education level of the people that she's got and how they can help you get get out of your own way. Go ahead, get out of your own way and get somebody to help you. And so, Bianca, we need to take our halftime break and we will be right back. And I'm going to play a thing about leadership. I would love your opinion on it when we come back. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. You're listening to Positive Talk Radio Network. We're on a mission to entertain, enlighten, empower, and educate through inspiring music, dynamic conversations, and yes, laughter. Join me, Kevin McDonald, and Brishelle as we declare our freedom from hate, division, and fear and celebrate a better way of living. Go to positivetalkradio.net to find out more. Here are some points to ponder from Positive Talk Radio. You know, some say leadership is about getting the work done, about pushing forward, no matter the cost. But what's the cost of a team with no purpose? What if a single act of support, a single moment of genuine grit could change everything? What if leadership was a catalyst? Because true leadership isn't about being in control. It's about empowering others to find their purpose. It's about leading with passion and igniting the fire in everyone around you, creating a culture of teamwork and common purpose. A true leader finds this culture by enthusiastic purpose and team development, making each team member feel empowered to create, improve, and execute their tasks with genuine passion and a strong belief in the company's mission and focus. In other words, lead with purpose. And welcome back to Positive Talk. And Bianca B. King is with us. And Bianca, what did you think of that piece?
It's brilliant. That's exactly what leadership should be. Yes. Couldn't agree more.
I would love to believe that that every leader in our country is dedicated to the proposition of changing the culture for its beneficial for the employee and their families. And the ripple effect can be huge. And by the way, guys and gals, it lowers turnover, it improves performance, it improves productivity, and so all of those things drop to the bottom line. And at the same time that you are more of a leader, at least in my opinion. So,
Yeah,
and
for
any
sure.
of that. Speaking of being a leader, you've got a summit coming up. Tell us how that came to be and what it's all about.
Oh gosh. Do you want like the whole backstory of the summit?
If we got time, I think.
All right. So I was hanging out with my friend Keisha, and we were taking a pottery class. And so I try to do things that I'm not good at because I always want to come from a learner's perspective. So, I've been doing a lot of things for a very long time. I feel like I'm an expert. So I try to do new things that I'm not so good at. So we were taking this amazing pottery class. My little thing came out horrible, but I was happy and proud of it. I'm like, I'm writing my name on it. I can't wait to see the glaze and all of that. And as we were getting in the Uber to come back, because it was in McKinney and we are coming back to Frisco. And I was like, you know what? I'm thinking about doing a summit for PDA, Pretty Damn Ambitious. What do you think? And I explained, what I was thinking about doing. She's like, oh, it's perfect. Let's do it. So right there in the back of the Uber, we started planning the summit. And that was 4 years ago. This is the fourth annual.
Ideas happen in the back of a Uber.
Uber, right? And that was 4 years ago. So this March 26th and 27th, this is the fourth annual Level Up Summit. We've had the editor-in-chief of Success Magazine be a keynote. We've had Rhonda Ross, Diana Ross's daughter, be a speaker. It's been absolutely amazing. And it's great that I'm able to reach and impact women from around the world. And it really does make a massive difference in their confidence and them understanding that ambition is not a dirty word and that they really can have the life that they want if they choose to.
And as long as, and including the fact that they are worth it.
Indeed.
I know you guys talk about that a great deal.
Yeah, for sure. So 3 of the pillars that I really focus on, not only in the summit, but in my community, is mindset, marketing, and money. Because if you can't get your mindset right, if you don't understand that you're enough, then you won't charge the right amount. You won't show up and market yourself that you need to, the way you need to. So really try to make sure that we dig into those limitations and barriers that we do to ourselves before we tackle the, marketing strategy or your pricing and, all of that. So from my perspective, it's always about taking care of the woman 360, not just thinking about, okay, here's a way for you to grow your business. how can you grow your identity and your mindset first so that you can make those internal shifts so the rest flows significantly easier.
You know, it's interesting that there's a certain imposter program that we have going through our head that says, I don't know what to charge and I can't charge enough. And when somebody says, well, great, it sounds wonderful. How much do you charge? It's like, that's when we go into brain lock. It's like, I
Indeed.
don't, I want the business, but
Yeah.
but so we underquote it, and a
Yes.
lot of times. And by the way, level up summit.co is where you go. You can get all the information. They've got all of the speakers that'll be there, how to register, how to get it done, and what they're going to be talking about during the whole thing. So,
Yeah.
and this is your fourth year.
Fourth year. And really quickly, I have a nice little gift for your guests if they are interested in attending. If they use the code positive 2026, they will get 20% off all tickets.
Oh, yay. So positive 2026.
2026, positive 2026.
Oh, and thank you for that. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And so you've got to, and if you're watching this podcast after March 26th, which is always possible,
Yep.
then there's going to be a 27, and so you need to organize yourself to get into that one, because it is so important for, and you're building community at the same time,
Indeed.
and that is so important because don't you find that the entrepreneurs feel kind of lonesome sometimes?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know I experienced it in early on until I figured out how to be in community. And when I started way back in 2008, uh, Facebook had only been around for a year or two. Instagram wasn't even thought of. There was no WhatsApp. All of these other social media companies didn't exist. So the way that you would connect was in person or by phone. I'm not even sure if Zoom was around at that point. So
And
so
or by fax machine. Remember the fax machine?
I had a fax. And I thought it was so cool when you could just like fax by email. It's like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing. But yeah, that's how long I've been doing this. But understanding how to find the right people and build that infrastructure, that scaffolding, so that you are supported as an entrepreneur, it's huge. Now we can do it any way that we want to, whether it's in person or virtual. But really making sure that you find those like-minded individuals that can really support you and your growth and your failures, because you are going to fail a lot as an entrepreneur. It's massively important.
Well, and failure is an I don't call it failure. I call it another step to success.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. It's still failure from my perspective, but it's failure that teaches you something. I always say fail forward, how can you learn from, whatever endeavor that didn't succeed exactly the way you intended? There's still something that can come out of it. I mean, you think about 3M and the sticky notes and all the other perceived failures that actually turned into something of note.
Oh, exactly. And when you've never been in HR, which is human resources,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
you're trying to hire the absolute right person that can do the right thing, sometimes it takes a couple of times to figure it out.
Indeed, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, now, of course, we have all these AI and different assessments that we can give so that, we can make sure that they are aligned with our business. But yeah, way back in our day, um, it was a little bit more difficult to suss out and really understand if that person's going to be the right fit for your organization. So yeah, yeah. I'm grateful for all of the advances in technology.
So, and make sure that you go to the summit, go to the website so that you can look at it and then sign up for it. It's levelupsummit.co,
Yeah.
and you can find out all about the information that you need there. And because it's virtual, now are you going to have a physical place too, or is it going to be 100% virtual?
It's 100% virtual. I've been asked and cajoled into doing a live summit in person. We're thinking about doing it in 27, but we've got to get sponsors and all that good stuff going. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get it done. But right now, it's all virtual.
Well, but the thing is, after COVID, when everybody had to stay home for a year, we figured out that with Zoom and with what I use, StreamYard and other programs, that you can, like, I'm in Seattle, you're in Texas, and
Yeah.
we're having a conversation that people can see
Yeah.
and stuff. So that works as well. And then because traveling to a specific location and the hotels and the
Yeah.
meals and that becomes a really big deal.
It can be, it can be. And given, as you know, you said at the top that a lot of women entrepreneurs make less than 100K annually, it
Yeah.
can be a bit of a burden financially to do all of that, spend the money for the ticket, then travel, possibly find childcare. It can be a very daunting task. So it's like, why not make it virtual?
And being away from the business for several days.
Yep, that part too.
That becomes a bit really a big deal. So you are doing this, and this is your passion.
It
And
is.
are you
Yeah.
going to be writing a book about your passion and your mission and your
am. I am. I just saw that my book proposal is due April 15th. And I was like, wait, what? Thought I had more time. But yes, I am going to be writing a book all around what I've learned over my 30 plus year career, well, almost 30 years, it was about 28 years career, plus what I've also developed as a framework, which I call joyful ambition. And just really helping women understand that there is a better way to have success and giving them examples and all different things from my life and a few other women who will be in the book as well.
Joyful Ambition, is that the nonprofit, or is there another name for the nonprofit?
Oh no, I don't have a nonprofit. I work with a nonprofit, but I don't have nonprofit.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. I
Yes.
misunderstood. But you work with the nonprofit. What do they do?
I do. I work with a nonprofit called Texas Wall Street Women. They are absolutely amazing. They've been around for 18 years. They started, ironically, the same year that I started my agency. And I am, what is my title now? Uh, Vice President of Operations and Development. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But essentially, what Texas Wall Street Women does, we really help women understand a path, how to get into finance and stay in finance because obviously finance is a very male dominated industry like real estate was. And so that's part of what they do. But also, what they do is, even though we're a nonprofit, we give all of our profits at the end of the year to the Young Women's Preparatory Network, which is a network of, I believe it's 11 schools here across the state of Texas that helps underserved girls get a college prep education. So it's 6 through 12 years where they're going through these schools, and it's absolutely amazing. They have like 100% graduation rates, which is you know unheard of for for most public schools. And they have probably acquired like over, I think last year they acquired, I think 300 million in scholarships.
Oh,
These
wow.
girls go to Yale, these girls go to Oxford. I mean, they are just absolutely fantastic. And I'm so excited to see when they matriculate and they go to college and then they come back and they tell the stories to the young ladies in the schools. It's a wonderful thing.
And I've been doing this show for a while, and one of the things that I'm learning or have learned is that we consider the United States to be the best country in the world.
Yeah,
Yet
yeah,
we've got bunches of kids that go to bed hungry every night.
yeah,
We've got kids. Interviewed a gentleman last week. He builds beds for children because it is a need that is not being fulfilled because nobody sells used beds and stuff. So he
yeah.
does bunk beds and all of that. And so giving back to the community, thank you for doing what you're doing. That is so important because there are lots and lots of really talented people, and a lot of them it just happen to be women
Yeah.
that can learn and can do some great things. And I love your opinion on this because I think that we have had it wrong in our country for a very long time, and that is when we consider half of our population less than or
Yeah.
not capable of doing what the other half of the population can do. I think we're wasting a lot of brain power. What do you think?
Yeah, that's an understatement. I absolutely agree. Um, Yeah, I don't really understand why we are thought of that way. Yes, I get that it's like, from way back in the day and it's perpetuated and it's systemic and all of that, but it's like we are now in 2026. Um, Most countries have had a woman prime minister or president. We are highly capable in every single way. Going back to the whole finance thing, women are better investors. We actually, you know, invest money better. And it's not that we're risk averse. We just typically have higher returns because maybe we're able to see the patterns or whatever. So we are highly capable. We're more than capable to do anything that a man can do, but yet and still we're sidelined.
And yeah, and that is so sad because of the fact that there's you've got so much ability and so much potential that, and a lot of it's going to waste, and then people get discouraged,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad that the young kids that are working with you and that they're getting through school, and they are excited about working and developing themselves into something, because we need it.
Yeah.
Goodness knows we need it. We need good, strong leadership in this country, and we're not getting it from the current folks that
Yeah.
are running the place, if you know what I mean. And
Yes.
Bianca B. King is with us, and when we come back, I want to address, because you've been in business, you've been working with business folks. What do you think, especially in finance and some of the other areas that you are working in? What in the hell is AI going to do to us? And do you have a prognostication or a thought
Yeah.
about how the people that you're working with can skirt that issue and continue to thrive and grow in the current development that we have? Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, we will be right back. And this is just I don't know. Oh, I know what I'll play because this is important. We'll be right back. Here is another point to ponder by Positive Talk Radio. The world is full of people who would die for someone they love. But what about living for them? Waking up early to take care of your health. Letting go of the habits that steal your years. Choosing rest instead of running yourself empty. The truth is, your family doesn't want a hero who dies for them. They want a parent who stays. A friend who grows old with them. A soul who chooses life every single day. Don't just die for love, live for it. And welcome back to Positive Talk. My name is Kevin McDonald. Purcell is out sick today, and Bianca B. King is with us. And I know that you appreciated that one, because we should all live the best way that we can for everybody and take care of ourselves. And
Yeah.
that's how an entrepreneur will succeed in many times.
Yes. My husband says, I love you to life, not love you to death. And I love that. I love your
Well,
life. I'm like, I love it.
you got a cool dude, I got to tell you.
He is cool. I think you might need to have him on. Mr. King is like one of the most amazing dynamic men you will ever meet. He used to be an accountant. Now he's an options trader.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
Now, that's a change.
indeed. Yes.
And because accountants are used to, like following the rules and the numbers, and being an options trader is a completely different thing.
Yeah, it is.
And now for something completely different. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
What do you think AI is going to do to us? Any ideas?
It's really hard to determine, given how quickly it's growing and the proliferation of it. I'm really just honestly not sure. I'm holding on just like everyone else and just waiting and seeing. I do believe, just like, the um, invention, if you will, of the internet, or the proliferation of the internet, Mr. Gore, who helped make that happen. Um, I do believe that it is a tool. It is a tool that can be used for good. It's a tool that can be used for bad, for malice. It's really about how we as humans can really determine the way that it can be useful, right? It's just like anything. A hammer can be, used to build a house, or it can be used to unfortunately kill someone, right? So how can we make sure that we're using this tool in a really effective way that's going to help humanity? Will jobs be lost? Yes. Will things change and shift? Yes. But the same thing happened when the internet came online. The people who were filing, paper and like, literally, putting things in boxes and shipping them off to. There's uh, a company called Iron Mountain that we used to use, shipping them off to Iron Mountain for data storage, and that was our form of data storage back in the 90s, right? Now all our data is stored in the cloud. So those people, yes, they lost jobs, but I'm sure they were hopefully able to find something else. And I feel that the same thing's going to happen with AI. There are going to be some things that are going to be lost, but there's going to be a lot that's going to be gained if we are willing and able to um, really take a human perspective with it.
Well, and that's how things change. I'm struck by the poor guy who developed. He came up with an idea, and this idea was we could rent videotapes, and
Right.
what we'll do is we'll have a store, and we'll put the videotapes in the store. What do you want to call it? Hey, let's call it Blockbuster, and we'll
Right.
see. And there were stores, thousands of them all over the place,
Everywhere. I think
and
I think my husband and I still have our Blockbuster cards, so yes.
I am sorry that there's no refund available now because they're no longer available anywhere. Or a photo mat was another one that just tons of them. But
Yeah,
this feels a little bit different in that it is evolving so quickly,
so quickly. Yeah,
and it's impossible for us really as humans to keep up with it because
yeah,
what was and I feel sorry for computer programmers who went to school for that for years and learned all the languages, and there were 5 or 6 or 7 or a dozen
yeah.
different computer languages that they had to learn, and that's all going to be going by the wayside. But at the same time, it also gives us freedom, I think,
Mhm.
to become more entrepreneurish and stuff. So, and
Yeah.
I don't even know, is that a word, entrepreneurish?
It is now.
And by the way, Bianca B. King is our guest, and tell us about the podcast a little bit.
Oh gosh. Yeah, so this was something I decided to do kind of spur of the moment last December. And again, my incredible husband, Mr. King, was like, yes, polish, do it. So essentially, it's me exploring themes around ambition. So, like I said, today's theme was enough plus ambition. And the enough part of it was, like you were saying, do I feel worthy enough inside? But then the opposite part of that coin is, do you feel like you have enough as an entrepreneur? Because sometimes we feel like we are living in scarcity or whatever. And so then we tend to overwork, right? So yeah, so it's really just this thing about me just exploring the different facets of ambition, at least this first season. And the next season, I already have quite a few guests lined up. People are like, yes, I want to be a part of it. It's a private podcast on Substack, but we've been out since I think maybe the end of December or mid December, and we've already had close to 1,000 downloads, which is pretty impressive just given it's private. I'm just like, oh wow, and I don't have that many Substack followers, so people are sharing it, which is wonderful.
If you want to go find out how to become a Substack member and be part of this podcast, how do they do it? Where do they go?
Oh my gosh. I think it's a Substack or Substack / I am Bianca B. King. I'm just learning Substack myself, honestly, and it's different from a lot of the platforms I've been on. Maybe I can send you the link. I'm not exactly sure what my handle is. I think it is I am Bianca B. King. But if you go to Substack and Google or search Bianca B. King, I'm sure you'll find me.
Well, and that's important because voices like yours are important to get out there in all manner and forms that we can, because you are, number one, you're a delightful individual. You're very smart. You're very driven, and you're here to help people. And we are really interested in people that are willing to help people. So, congratulations on everything that you're doing.
Well, thank you for those compliments, Kevin. I really appreciate it. And same back to you. I mean, you have this amazing platform that you are sharing the word of positivity in a multiplicity of ways. So, again, congratulations to you.
Well, and we can work together and I would love for all of us to work together to look at what has happened in the past. And first of all, recognize what has happened in the past and what our history actually is, and then take steps to eliminate it. Because, this is 2026, for heaven's sakes. We need to get past this stuff.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, can we learn from the past, and not only even American history, because America isn't that old. We are still a very young country, but can we look to other nations and other countries that have gone through similar things, and what can we glean that we can then use to help bolster us? We don't have to learn the hard way. We could let another country be our coach, if you will, right? But we choose not to, unfortunately, in this at this point in time.
Well, and I'm hopeful that that point in time will end soon, because it doesn't serve us.
Yes,
It doesn't
very
serve
important.
all of us.
Yeah,
And we're all Americans, and we all deserve to
in-
have a shot at great stuff. So,
indeed.
Bianca B. King, thank you so much for being here. I want to give you a couple of moments to tell us all the places you are and how you can be reached. And then, if you can share a nugget, a moment in time, or a nugget from you that our listeners or viewers can take with them, and can digest over a period of time.
Yeah, for sure. The easiest way to find me is just to go to my namesake website, which is Bianca B as in boy King.com. If you go to Bianca King, that is a gorgeous Filipina actress. She is not me. Um, but so if you do want to find more details about me and all the things I do, Bianca B King is the best way to find me, including the Substack. Nugget of wisdom. It all starts from within. If you feel that you are worthy and good enough, you're not going to try to trample on your fellow man to, you know, feel like you need to be better. It really starts within. If you can cultivate that self love, if you could truly understand how amazing and powerful you are, what it took for you to get here, the billions and different scenarios that had to happen for you to be right here, right now on planet Earth, if you can know that and really feel that, then that's the best path forward. That's where it starts.
And thank you for saying that. That is a huge, huge, huge piece of how we're going to get through this.
For
And
sure.
I want to thank you so much for being here. And also, there is. Can I tell a story real quick before we go?
Yeah, let's do it, Kevin.
I live in a mobile home here, and I have a studio here, and everything's set up, and it's all perfectly fine. I was sitting in my living room on Friday night, and the whole house shook,
Ooh,
because there was a truck that the guy lives 3 doors down across the street, and he um I live in a 55 plus community, so there are people that are a little older, if and he put it in reverse and thought he'd put it in drive, and it went all the way across the street and hit my front deck
wow.
here. And then so I went outside and said, "Hey, what you doing?" And he got in his car and drove off. But I know where he lived and all of that kind of stuff. And I was thinking about it, that the lack of integrity, of not doing the right thing,
Yeah.
is a major deal in my world. And I think about this every time he leaves his house and he sees my house, and he remembers what he did, and that will not go away because he didn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
So everybody can do the right thing by each other. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can say hello to each other, for heaven's sakes, and
Sure.
and stuff. So that to me is important. And you are sensational at what you do. You're building community. You're a terrific business person. You've got so I want to thank you for doing what you're doing. It really is so important and so needed.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you for having me.
Oh, will you come back?
Of course.
Can you bring Mr. King with you?
Yes. Yeah, he's a little camera shy, but I'll see if I can get him to come hang out with us.
Yeah,
For sure.
or he can just, like wave and then just say goodbye. I value men who value and treat the women in their life with respect and positivity, and it seems to me that he's one of those.
Indeed, he is. He was raised right, as we say here in the South. Absolutely. He's an amazing man.
Well, and is he from the South?
Yeah, he's born and raised Dallas.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, there's at least one. Anyway, so I want to thank you so much for being here. Bianca B. King is our guest. Go to her website. There's a bunch of them. So which is the one you want them to go to first?
BiancaBking.com.
And the one second, which would be levelupsummit.co. Would
They
that be
can
right?
find it all through Bianca B. King. So yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So, Bianca, thank you so much. And it's time for you to go call it a day, although you probably won't, and to have a great evening.
Thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate it.
Have a great day, everybody. Thank you for being part of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, where stories inspire and voices remind us of what truly matters. May today's conversation give you hope, courage, and a reason to keep moving forward. And just remember, till next time, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got.